Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I am always stoked to have you here today, especially for a topic that I think stumps many of us sometimes. And it's really through trial and error that we can figure out really how to make the right investments. And speaking of the right investments, I'm going to be kind of like using these two kind of as examples, because the first thing that I have to let you know about is obviously these are the last couple of days to sign up for the Marketing Business School trial. And so we're doing a trial run in the month of September. So all the main great things about Marketing Business School are still going to be there. But Marketing Business School has outgrown itself from just being an educational group. It really is a lot about taking action, holding each other accountable to our goals, and really being supportive to each other, and having a travel business not alone, but with other colleagues who are just as invested in what happens in our story and are really cheerleading us along. And so Marketing Business School is going to have a new name come the new year, but we are wanting to try different types of call sessions that kind of go along with that mission of a hive mind and masterminding together and finding resolutions together and taking actions in our business. So if you would like to, one, just experience what Marketing Business School is like, please join us in the trial. It is just a one-time pay. I hate trials that subscribe you, and if you don't get out, but then you subscribe too late, you can't get out of it or can't get out. So I am just making it super simple, where you just pay for the month of September. If you don't like it, you just keep doing on what you're doing. And if you do like it, you do have the choice of joining us on that monthly subscription for Marketing Business School. So super easy peasy. And maybe this episode will help you decide if Marketing Business School might be a fit for you too, as we are talking about making the right investments. The other investment that I'm going to be talking about is actually an investment that I'm going to be making today, which is into Nina Clapperton. So, I've kind of have been geeking about Nina for quite some time now. Especially, she was one of the speakers for the Alternative Careers in Travel audio series, where she talked about travel blogging. One of her programs is changing, meaning it is a one-time pay for lifetime access. And after today, August 30th, 2024, it is going to become, you pay a fee to get 1 year of access, and if you want continuous access, you have to pay an annual renewal fee. So if blogging and monetizing your website and figuring out how to do that and how to build a website on your own from scratch, there's a lot that's in there. I'm not going to describe everything here, but if you have questions, I'm not going to tell you to shoot me a text because it's going to take too long. You better send me an email or DM me, because this is very, very, very time sensitive. So just reach out to me if you have any questions. I myself am enrolling, so I can't give you perspective of that, but I can give you perspective of taking another one of Nina's courses and a challenge of hers. And she's just amazing, and how available and how giving she is in her knowledge is incredible. You will not, from my perspective, you cannot make a wrong choice in investing in any of Nina's programs. So I'll have my affiliate link linked below. And when I mention how I think about things, I'll bring this up in terms of what I'm thinking about too. So when I'm getting ready to think about making an investment, and I also come to you from this because I am very much a shiny object person, and I like to get all the different things, but I think what has been like super helpful, which is it's not fun, but has been like the purse strings have been super tight. And really, I'm not able to like do that shiny object. Like, I really have to purchase with intention. So, if that helps you out at all, instead of thinking you have like unlimited funds to spend on all these different things in your business, thinking about that you have a very limited purse strings might be something that helps you out. Because I know if you have, especially, you know, how last week I was talking about how having a job can help you fund things, especially when you're starting up your business. So I know like you buy all the different things for your business, which may not be such a good thing because we want to be strategic. Like, you don't need 50 million courses or templates or things out there. You need to be very mindful of the things that you're purchasing. One, so that you're actually making a profit in your business. And two, because we want to make sure that whatever you're purchasing, you're actually utilizing. And so like that is a huge thing for me. Like, I'm only going to invest money that I am going to be like taking action on. And it doesn't necessarily like, it can be something that gives you a revelation, because there's all sorts of results that can happen from making an investment. You can be like, oh, like this is not the way that I want to go about this. And those can be pretty costly investments. I have friends that are kind of going through something similar where they've invested heavily in a group program. They're not in the travel industry. I'm feeling for them because they're not even using the program, but they're still having to put payments on the program. So that was a very hefty learning decisions. So when something is presented to me, kind of what are the things that I'm thinking about? And, you know, I feel like I'm very selective in the things, especially because we all know when we sign up for things, we are going to get like either some sort of welcome sequence or we're going to be put on some sort of email list. So for that too, like, is it worth it? Is like the cluttering up my inbox worth it? So you have to really be figuring in a lot of different things. So the first thing that I have on my list is, one, I guess like the most important is, am I financially able to make this investment? And it might not necessarily be that you're financially able to in this moment. Like, maybe you have a plan, or maybe you know that additional revenue is coming in the next couple of months. So you can get on some sort of payment plan and then pay off the other chunks of everything in the coming future and all that. So I think that this is what definitely got me into a lot of hot water, into a lot of debt. And I do not recommend going into debt, especially if you do not have a game plan for paying off that debt. You need to, like, I hate when people, I feel like it's so irresponsible when people are like, you can just put so-and-so on a credit card. But then, like, if you don't have a plan to back that up, like, it's just so, it irks me, especially being on the other side of things. I don't think I'll ever tell anybody, like, you can just put it on a credit card or you can just do this and then the money will come. No. What is the tactical? What is the practical plan that you are doing if you don't have that money now to make sure that you're going to make money to cover that investment? If you don't have that money, because typically, especially now, if I don't have the money to pay for something, it's a no. It's an automatic no for me. There are certain things that I don't have the ability to pay for, like, right now, but I know I have this contract and that contract. So I know the money is incoming, and I know I also have these other revenue building things that are coming down the pipeline that will cover these different investments that I have. So that is, in a sense, one of the ways that I use to justify. And this, again, like, there's so many different facets for justifying. This is just the financial aspect and how I think about it, how I think through things. The number two thing, there's no order for here, I'm just like reading off the list that I had written for myself, is what's the risk and the reward ratio? Because sometimes I don't invest it's full transparency. Like, I don't invest in a lot of like really hefty expenses. Most recently, there have been some hefty expenses that I've been investing in. And both of those are because I'm able to get a lifetime plan offer. And this is like, if I'm making more of a heftier option, it's usually because of that, because I can like pay a one-time fee or get on a payment plan for this one-time fee. And then I never have to pay for anything again. Like, especially if there's a tech, like I really try and do some sort of like lifetime deal for that, because it makes it so much more worth it for me in the end. I will also look at it. Is it something that I absolutely need? Like, is this going to make a big life change, a big life difference for me? So recently, one of the big mega investments that I made was on the platform that I host a lot of my programs and a lot of my courses on. There was a lifetime deal. It's still available, but they were taking away certain payment plan options, and they were also providing a discount that was also going to be gotten rid of. And so I had known for a while now, this was not an overnight decision. Like, I had known probably for a couple years now that if there was ever going to be a lifetime deal on this piece of technology, I was going to invest, because I thought that the owners were very ethical. They are very quick to answer questions and provide support when I needed. And it was a technology that I've been using for quite some time now. It's not perfect by any means, but it works really well for what I need it to do. And I also know kind of like the future roadmap. And so knowing that things are going to be improving, and that's something that they're going to be working on, were lots of like green flags, I guess, for me to pull the trigger on. So those are some of the things that you have to think about, especially when it comes to, I just mentioned Nina's course. That's another one of the big investments that I'm going to make, because it is a 4-figure investment. And one of the reasons that I'm doing that, when we're thinking about risk and reward, the risk is that I have to put a lot of money down up front. The reward, that's a temporary risk in my eyes, because the reward is far greater, going to surpass that investment that I'm going to make. I know that the person behind that product, she puts her money where her mouth is. I have already gotten so much value that I cannot even believe the amount more value that I'm going to have access to. This is something that I have been wanting to be a part of for at least the past 7 or 8 months. And also knowing that there's going to be an annual fee, I don't want to pay. I would rather pay the lifetime of it. So those are all factors that I'm like, I will take this risk, because the reward on the outset is going to be super amazing. Most of my investments are much smaller than 4-figure investments. Like, I remember recently, there's been a couple of summits that I've been an attendee at, and for the most part, a lot of the summits, there's going to be a way that you can upgrade and spend more money to upgrade. Like, sometimes you get the free version, sometimes you can pay to get the upgrade. 2 of the 3 summits that I've recently been an attendee at, I did not upgrade. The risk of putting my money down was not worth the reward, because I didn't need anything outside of the free version. The 3rd summit that I participated in, I did all of the upgrades, because there were a couple additional things that I could pay into, because that risk, that investment was very much worth it. It was very much support that I was needing and looking for. And I cannot wait to put all those learnings to use. And now I will also have lifetime access to the recordings, which is super beneficial for the specific subject matter, because I will be able to listen multiple times, because I can't put everything into practice right now, but I'll be able to access it in the future, so it's available to me. So those are a couple of things. Now, there were some people also that had freebies and lead magnets that I signed up for. Lots of people will have things that like you can upsell to kind of like enhance it. Most people's, I don't purchase those upsells because again, they don't relate to me. It's not really a pain point that's really at the top of my head right now. There was one person that I was like, it's a heck yes. We're going to do all the things, because not only was it things that I needed, but they were super affordable. That was like a 1-figure investment. And I was like, heck yeah, we're doing that. So you have to like lay out the pros and cons for you, which I'm not sure if that's one of the things, but that it really goes in with the risk and reward. Like, is it really worth it to you? One of the most important things, because I have been duped in the past, is how much credibility does the person that you're investing in have? Because sometimes people have a lot of credibility, but they're not like Nina, and I would like to say they're not like myself, where we put our money where our mouth is. If we say we're going to do X, you're going to get X, and you're probably going to get a little bit more than X. There are some people who, like, they say you're going to get the heavens, the moons, and the skies, and all they give you is like a little bit of grass. And that is super disappointing when that happens. So that's like, especially when it's a larger investment, you kind of have to weigh the odds a little bit. You have to be in the person's world just for a little bit to see, like, is their teaching style what I like? Is the stuff that they're teaching me or helping me out with, is it the exact thing that I need assistance with? Is it proving to be helpful? Is it proving to be fruitful? Have they personally helped me before with any results, like maybe from a free webinar or a lead magnet or anything like that? Have I seen other people have results or rave about what this person is doing? What kind of value have I already received from this person? So those are the things that I think about. Like, one of the last like huge investments, this was multiple 4 figures, excuse me. I don't think I've made a 5-figure investment in my business as far. Maybe like if you add everything together. But when I was rebranding my travel agency, because I had previously rebranded with somebody who was not qualified, is probably the best word, I was very cautious about who I was going to invest in again for this major rehaul. And so the person that I ended up going with, I think I had Instagram stalk them for at least a year. I had seen their work. I wasn't quite sure if their work was for me. So that's why I kept following them to see, like, could they kind of like do different types of style, really is what it was. And they could. And I just love their breadth of work and the customization and the personalization and really the thoughtfulness that came from the way that they do branding and aesthetics and all that. So it took that time for me to realize that this is the person that I want to work. And in the end, it was spectacular. Like, they presented me 2 brand options and I cried watching the first one, which is now the current Rita Ventures brand, because it just spoke exactly to the brand that I wanted to be known as. So really thinking about that aspect in like who you're investing in. Number 4 is, how vested is the provider in making sure that you get results? And, you know, I say this because, one, there's a lot of people out there that just want to get your money. And I mean, we're all just trying to make an income. So we can't hide that fact that we're all just trying to make an income. But those really spectacular service providers, they not only want to make a spectacular income, but they want to have a positive impact on you, your business, whatever it is that you're trying to fix or enhance or improve. they really do care about your success. It's not just like a one and done and thanks for your money, see you later. And not everybody is like that. That may not be an important thing for you, but it is very important for me to be working with service providers who care about me. And then also, it's very important for me to be a service provider like that. Like, I am very vested in the success. Now, this kind of like aligns with number 5 with how vested are you in taking action? Because it is not just the provider's sole responsibility for you to have success. You also have to take action on what you're investing in. So if whatever investment you're trying to make, whether it's a technology, if you're purchasing like one-on-one services, if you're purchasing a course or a template, there is also work that you have to do outside of just buying the thing. So do you have the time to do the work, to do the other side of the stuff, to like take the coursework, to implement, add the templates into your tech, to learn the tech so that you're actually using it? Do you have that time trade-off? Because the most caring provider can be super caring, but if you're not willing to put the work in it, it doesn't mean anything. And you should also think about that. Like, I think this is where shiny object syndrome, we can calm it down a little bit to be like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And be like, reality check, Rita. How likely are you to actually do all the things that are in here to get the results that you want? And it may not be that you're going to take immediate action, but that you're wanting to, like, it's still a goal for you and you're just having it close. Because I'm thinking about another program that I made an investment in that I have not taken any action in yet, but it is coming more to the forefront that I really need to take action. It was a program that I invested in because it was another like really great lifetime deal, lifetime offer. And so I just couldn't pass it up because I knew that my long-term goals had to do with this program. And so eventually, like, I'm being a little elusive, but eventually you'll figure out what it is. But yeah, so how vested is the provider in making sure you get results? But then more important is how vested are you in taking action? And again, it doesn't have to be immediate action, but if it's something that aligns with your long-term goals, I think it could still be a worthwhile investment for you. Number 6, does it align with your current goals? I think like this maybe should have been number 1 on the list, but really, if you are buying a course to learn about social media and you have no interest on being in social media, you don't need to buy the course. Like, just putting it out there. If social media like makes you irk or makes you, maybe you might not want to buy a high price course, you want to buy like an entry level course to learn a little bit more. Similarly, if you are not able to like get out of your comfort zone and do networking, like, it's probably not a great investment to be learning how to improve your networking if that's like not something in your viewpoint. Similarly, if you're thinking about like hiring a service provider, and that's, I'm a big proponent of like going to tech, automating tech first, and then hiring a service provider. But there's also places where I'm like, I don't even want to learn this thing. I'd rather hire somebody to do this thing. Kind of like I would rather hire Tom Carpenter to put terms and conditions together. Like, I don't want to have to like what is that, Swiss cheese that all myself. Like, I'd rather hire somebody to take care of all of that. I don't want to do my taxes myself. I don't need to learn how to do my taxes myself. I'm going to hire my tax accountant every single year to take care of my taxes for me. So there are certain things that like you don't need to learn. But how does this go back to aligning with your current goals? It can be not only like your business goals, but like, what do you want to be doing? What feels good to be doing? So this year, my word of the year is empower. So a lot of when I'm thinking about making an investment goes back to, does this align with empowering myself Or does it align with empowering other people within my community? Because that's what empower means to me, that I can empower myself and I can empower other people inside my community. So a lot of my investments this year, if they don't align with empowerment, we're not making those investments. So that's what I think about when I made the big tech investment. It was going to empower me. It was going to like lift me from like having to pay monthly. And it was just going to, I just feel so empowered making that decision because it just felt good for all the different factors. Similarly, like I will feel so empowered investing in Nina's program now and not having to pay a monthly fee every year. Like, because I know not only that, like she's going to provide so much value and it's going to be so good. And I'm going to be like, I would have paid so much more money for this. Like if something like that, like you're like, I just know, like take my money because I'm going to feel so good. That is a signal for me that you are the investment is in alignment with what your goals are, what you want to be doing, getting you a little bit closer. It really helps to put the blinders on. Like this is the one that I feel really helps to combat shiny object syndrome. If it doesn't align with, and goals can be different things. It can be that I want to make more money. It can also be that I want to spend more time with my family. It can be I don't want to spend 12 to 14 hours working on a trip anymore. So figuring out what is in alignment with you and being able to figure out what is in alignment with does that fall in alignment with this potential investment that you're thinking about making. And then finally, really doing an overall analysis of how this is going to help you in the long term. So I think I've given some good examples about that. Also, have you done a competitive analysis of other products in the market? So I had already previously done a competitive analysis of similar tech within the industry. Email marketing is one of those things that's right now is a big investment. I'm not ready to pull the trigger just yet. But there are certain technologies that I'm kind of like looking or giving a spin to or like researching right now to see which one's going to be the right move for me. And similarly, there's a lot of like alternatives that might provide lifetime deals because like there's alternative to Zoom and Calendly that provide like lifetime deals at a really low cost, but Zoom is a well-known, trusted name, and it integrates with a lot of tech, similar to Calendly. So it's not worth it to me to purchase other programs that might be a little bit cheaper and do similar things because of that name recognition, because of those integrations. So that kind of like goes with, again, like the risk-reward ratio and analyzing that. Another program earlier this year, so my CRM that I use for my business solutions business, I actually tested another tech because the other tech was going to save me a lot of money. I did not like that tech. Around the same time I was having an issue with one of my payment processors, Stripe, and that's all that payment processor used, meaning because Stripe kind of froze my funds for like a week, I didn't have access to my income that I had like rightfully earned. So if I had switched, that would have been a big mistake. So I stayed with my original provider, who is more expensive. I was not happy about that, but I, now knowing what I know, like I know it was the right investment and right decision to make for me. So you also have to know on the other side, as I kind of alluded to earlier, you have to be okay that sometimes even if you do kind of go through this mental process of, am I financially able to? What's the risk reward? What's the credibility? How vested are we all in? Does this align? Sometimes you're going to make investments that are not the right decisions, and those become learning experiences for you. So it is definitely not fun. I have been in that boat. I think we've all had to have had like at least made like one crappy investment And it really is a live and learn. And it also helps you hone in a little bit better on your spidey senses on if an investment is a good or not decision for you. So I hope that this kind of at least gave you some insight into my brain and how I think about making investments for my own business. I know that this is a huge topic of discussion that we're always thinking about. And is this a right fit? Is this not a right fit? So especially when you're thinking about things like my programs and marketing business school, I am an open book. So if you ever have any questions about anything, please do not hesitate to reach back out to me. Similarly, if you have any feedback for me, I am very open to receiving feedback. Obviously, I'm a human, so I might not like all the feedback, but getting feedback is the only way that I can grow as a person and that I can make things more beneficial to you as my consumer. So please, give it to me, all the good and the bad. I will equally receive it. So I am open to that. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And I will see you here next week. All right, bye. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.